Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Doo.
On this episode of the History of the Course podcast with Curtis and Josh, we finish our look at the band known as Cancer Bats. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at IsSurvivedByPro for news and the latest episode postings. And make sure to subscribe to the show, leave us a 5-star review, and write us a comment on YouTube or whatever podcast service you're using. Make sure to check us out on TikTok and give us a follow at IsSurvivedByProductions. If you'd like to see us do some live streams, leave us a comment or tweet us the keyword stream. Now, without further ado, let's start the show.
The devil is in Atlanta, army surrounded.
All right, here we go. Back at it. Another episode of the History of the Cores podcast coming right at you, where each and every episode we are taking a look at the history of a band from the core genre. I'm Curtis.
And I'm Josh.
What's going on, Josh? Headbanging over there, having some last second preparation.
Yep, getting my last little bit in here.
Are you on your microphone again? I'm wondering.
Yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure. Yeah, for a second there, it sounded a little funny.
Does it sound normal?
Yeah, now it does. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was just because you're a little bit further away. For a second there, it kind of sounded kind of echoey, kind of like last week. But I think you're good, man. You're good. What's the give us a status
update?
Closer. Yeah. Oh God, I can see every pore on your face. What's the status? Give us a status on the old microphone stand.
Oh dear God.
I thought you had one coming.
Well, I thought I did too. And then the Visa gift card that I was using to pay for that stuff decided that it wasn't going to work for some reason. So,
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah. And then I was mad about it, so I just haven't ordered another one yet.
That's weird, man. Hey, look. You can't really see it very good, but don't disappoint this kid, okay? Get a microphone stand.
Oh, it's taking your hair off in the picture.
I know, so it made me look bald. Anyway, back at it, man. We're finally here, part 3. Cancer Bats gonna finish her up. It's been a nice little journey, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. The first half of this discography is really the best half.
Oh, for sure. Well, I mean, wouldn't you say most bands, their best stuff is their first half of their discography?
Yeah, and I was thinking that earlier. I was like, man, the last episode, especially like a 3-parter that we do, is always just kind of sad.
Kind of disappointing.
Yeah,
Depressing.
because there might be like 1 or 2 good ones on there, and then the last couple are always kind of like meh.
No, I hear you.
Which is kind of how I feel about these.
Okay.
Plus, like 2 of these albums in our list here are just re-recordings.
Yeah,
they're covers of their own stuff.
Right, but I found it pretty interesting, kind of like new takes on the songs, you know?
I did like those albums.
I liked them. Yeah, I liked them a lot, for sure. But we'll get to that. We'll talk a little more about it. But we got to start with the first album here in part 3 of our episode. It's 2018's The Spark That Moves from New Damage Records and Bat Skull Records. Produced by John Paul Peters, who actually did work on Comeback Kid's first album, Turn It Around. Have you ever heard any of like the early stuff before Wake the Dead?
I want to say I might have heard this one.
Okay. I was going to say, I started from Wake the Dead, so I don't know anything before that. But Turn It Around is before Wake the Dead. But anyway, he did producing work on Comeback Kid's album, Turn It Around. The band was seeking to record and release this album on their own terms, no singles, no teasers. Instead, they opted to release the album all at once and without letting fans know the release date. So kind of an interesting take there. Instead of, like I said, your normal hey, here's a single, we got a new album coming out, and here's a, pre-order stuff with, shirts and vinyls and yada yada yada. There was no singles, there was no album trailers, nothing. It's just you wake up one day and bam, here's 2018, The Spark That Moves, brand new album. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Frontman Liam Joseph Cormier would comment on the new album by saying, quote, "We spent all of 2017 working hard on this album, all while playing shows and talking with our fans who are constantly asking us, when can we hear new music? We figured, why make anyone wait any longer? Let's just drop the entire album all at once. I know as a fan, I just want to hear everything right away. Let me buy the record right now." And we figured, why not release our own music the way that we want? Cormier also noted that bassist Jay Schwarzer was a huge reason for this album being written and released. Schwarzer would make a lot of the guitar riffs, and that was due to individual schedules between the four members and not being able to have everybody in the same room at the same time. So Jay took it upon himself to come up with and record a bunch of guitar riffs heard on the record, and he and Liam would actually get together and hash out said riffs with Liam playing drums, which he did that. Remember, going back to part one, he actually did some drum work in the early days, and he's actually there. I don't think I mentioned this before. There was a time where he actually went on tour with a band that they were friends with as their drummer, but I can't remember who the band was either. So yeah, a little bit different writing style this time around, again because of the individual schedules. And I think one of the pieces to that is the lead guitarist Scott Middleton has done a lot of up to this point has done a lot of producing and studio work himself. So having that plus still being in the band too, your schedule is pretty tight. Quote, "We couldn't have written this album without Jay leading the charge." And this album was nominated for a Juno Award in the Metal Hard Music Album of the Year category, but did not win. All right, here's some of the songs. Well, not some of the songs. Here's all of the songs. You got the opener, Gatekeeper, Brightest Day, We Run Free, Space and Time, Bed of Nails, Head Wound, Fear Will Kill Us All, Rattlesnake, Can't Sleep, Heads Will Roll, and the finale, Winter Peg. All right, Josh, I've talked enough here. I know you're just dying to say something, man, because you've been silent. So go ahead and give us some of your knowledge on 2018's The Spark That Moves from New Damage Records and Bat Skull Records.
So they are or aren't on a label for this album.
So what they did was Bat Skull Records is their own record label that they made.
Okay,
and they'll end up. Go ahead.
Well, it says 2018 Bat Skull Records, distributed and marketed by New Damage Records.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting album. This is like still on the radar for me. By the time we get to the last album, I've kind of fallen off. Like there's I say maybe 2 or 3 tracks on there that I feel like are still pretty good. But
on the last album?
Yeah. But it starts to feel a little mailing for,
Yeah. I think we'll talk a little more about it when we get to that point. But I think one of the big things that comes with that newest album is you don't have Scott Middleton, your guitarist, anymore. He's gone by that time. So this is his last full-length album that he's a part of. If you're not, and I think they're considered EPs, the 2 cover albums that they did. Well, not really cover albums, but you know what I'm saying, the
acoustic albums.
Yeah, the acoustic albums. Yeah, he was a part of that too. But this is the last, original album, full-length album that he was a part of. So you kind of lose that signature guitar sound, that you got from all of the years, especially in the early part from Scott Middleton. And again, like I said, I know Jay did, some guitar riff work on this one, and I know he did the guitar work on the newest album too. So you're starting to kind of hear the transition, but Scott's still there and he's still doing work too on this album, whereas he's not there at all on Psychic Jailbreak. But anyway, go ahead.
What was their move? Did they so with him gone, it's a vocalist, a drummer, and a bassist.
Correct.
So what was their move?
What do you mean?
I mean, like, do they have somebody in there recording studio guitars or something? Because
No, that's what Jay does. So he'll do
Okay.
Jay Swarzer, their bassist, will do guitars. He'll write the guitars and the bass, and
yeah,
he'll do both on the record. And then, like right now, touring wise, they have two guitarists out on tour with them.
yeah. See, I don't know. That always kind of aggravates me. I don't like that.
Yeah,
And if any band does it, I don't like when they're like, "Oh, it's just these three guys," and it's like, yeah, it's not those three guys though. It's those three
yeah.
guys and like two other dudes who like tour with them, and another guy who does keyboards or something.
It's just
It's
kind
like
of weird,
it's like, well,
I
just
mean,
make those guys members of the band.
right.
Like they don't
Especially if they
have
just like
to.
continuously tour with you. It's like just go ahead and make them in.
Yeah, I've never liked that.
Yeah, it's kind
Um,
of weird.
but this one, this one still hits for me. Um, yeah, Spark the Moves. Um, for me on this one, Gatekeeper, Brightest Days, We Run Free. It's a pretty good run through the first few tracks there. I like Bed of Nails, Rattlesnake, and I do like it ending with Winter Peg. Winter Peg's a good ending for the album.
Yeah,
Um, we talked about a little bit before how sometimes when a band goes out on their own and does an album, without a label, it's a
mm,
lot of the time it's their best album.
you're right. Right.
So, yeah, and I pointed to
For whatever reason
Arsonist.
that is. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I pointed to Arsonist, Get All the Girls, Listen to the Color, and it's an infinitely better album than Game of Life or Hits from the Bow, like any of
Yeah.
those.
Well, it's just kind of weird. Like, I mean, it's not like you're on some like huge pop label that has like total control over like everything on the album.
Yeah,
So I mean, like you're with like all these bands that like we listen to, or all these bands that we talk about. I mean, they're just on like independent labels, and so it's kind of like, well, then how much are they actually involved in the actual label? In terms
right.
of like what we're just talking about was like we're like Arsonist is like I don't know who the label was for them when they did like Game of Life and the other one, but like compared to like you said, the one that they self-released, it's like I don't understand. Like it can't be again, like you said, or like I said, it's not like you're on some like major label out there that has total control over everything you're doing in the recording process.
Yeah.
So I just kind of wonder like what's in terms of like independent labels, like how much are they inputting on your albums and different stuff like that? Because I mean, you get to choose your own producer. It's not like they're handing you a producer. I mean, sometimes they may, and you may just like them. I don't know. Just kind of
Um,
interesting thought.
yeah. It looks like Arsonist would have had a little bit more of the producers on their back. Especially like, well, Game of Life for sure. That was 2007. And that was Century Media.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah, and Century is a little bigger.
yeah,
Let me see what Hits from the Bow or yeah, they were on Century for most of the time before Game of Life or before Listen to the Color.
okay,
And then yeah, Listen to the Color, Arsonist, Get All the Girls. Like they didn't even come up with a record label name or anything. They were just like, nah, it was just us.
that's just us, man, just us.
Yeah, I
What's
think they did it in the either vocalist or drummer's basement. He has like a little studio set up there,
yeah,
and so they did it all there.
um, Oh, I thought they did. I thought He Is Legend did. I thought they re-release, or I thought they self-released Few, but I guess not. I was trying to think of like another band, for example.
Who was
Anyway,
Few under?
Spine Farm Records. I mean, it's a
Okay.
smaller label, obviously, but I was going to say compared to the two previous before that, which was Heavy Fruit and It Hates You, which were both on Tragic Hero Records, which again is kind of a smaller record label. I mean, it's no like Century Media or anything like that, but yeah,
I think it just boils down to having full control versus not having full control. You know,
right,
be it a massive label that wants you to completely change the order of the songs on your album,
true,
or it being a producer that you've trusted, put this stuff into his hands, and you might say, I think this needs a little bit more this here, but he might feel like it doesn't, and then the album just goes out like that.
right,
So, and that's the thing, is like the producer they don't work for you, like as the band,
right.
they work for the label.
You
So
called me, yeah,
yeah, so I think that's the difference there. Even though it might not be massive in some cases, is the difference between full control and, minimal control.
right, yeah,
So, but yeah,
yeah.
I think it still rings true in this one. And coming off of Zero, it definitely draws me back in a little bit more because
Yes, yeah.
Zero started to lose me on some
I
tracks.
I was about to say the same thing. When I was listening this past week, I was kind of hesitant coming into the Spark the Moves, and I actually really liked it.
Yeah, because you'd never listened to it before, right?
No, never listened to it
Good.
before,
See,
and
I
I mean,
have
I
this
think
one,
it's
so
do you? Okay,
mhm.
yeah, I like it from beginning to end. I mean, I don't really think I'm not really a huge fan of Heads Will Roll. I would think that would, to me personally, that's like the weak point
Yeah.
in the album, and it's just because somebody's gotta have it. So it's not like it's a terrible song to me, but um, Brightest Days, We Run Free, Bed of Nails. I love the run of Fear Will Kill Us All, Rattlesnake, and Can't Sleep. That's a good little run for me. And yeah,
Yeah.
Winter Peg is a really good finisher. The other thing I was going to say too, there's a couple of times on this album, dude, that Liam screams. There was a couple of times I was like, is that Corey Putman doing guest vocals? Because there was a couple of times, especially on I think it was Can't Sleep was the first time I ever really noticed it, and I was like, is he guest vocaling? And he's not, but it's just like the way that Liam was doing his screams sounded almost just like Corey from Norma Jean.
Yeah, I could hear that a little bit in this one. I definitely hear some weird um Shure Kroom
Yeah.
on these next two albums.
Yes. Actually, there was that, and I was gonna say there was one song, and I don't remember which one it is or off the top of my head, that made me think of it sounded like Rob Zombie at one point. Just like
Okay.
the way his vocals were going. And then I also thought of like almost kind of Dallas Taylor like
Yeah, okay.
because then
So,
in my head I was like, I wouldn't be a bad split. Cancer Bats and Maylene.
oh God, that would have been good. Could you imagine like around the
Oh,
time
dude.
of like maybe two and
Hail
what would that have been?
Destroyer or
Yeah,
Birthing.
yeah.
Because Birthing was 2006, and yes, it'd be Birthing. Well, it'd be Birthing and Hail Destroyer. I think Hail was '07 if I remember. So yeah. Oh yeah, dude, that'd be sick.
Yeah, and I think it comes out as Sheila Kroom and Dallas Taylor so much because in one of them they're doing more of an acoustic thing, just like straight acoustic, and then in the other one they're doing more like a bluesy thing.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
yeah, he really like pulls from them so much so that I wanted to be like, is there guest vocals from
Right.
Schuler
Yeah.
and Dallas?
Is that
Like,
Schuler?
yeah,
Yeah. No, this is a good album. I mean, like you said, it's coming off of Zero, which, not a terrible album, but I mean, it's dipping. You're starting to kind of feel like the tables are starting to kind of turn, and we're kind of going in a bad direction, maybe. And you come out with this one, and it kind of rejuvenates, your hope that okay, maybe we're not done, maybe we haven't turned the corner yet.
Yeah. Well,
So
it's just
definitely,
like by the time you get to the last one, you just start to feel like they're just like out of ideas.
you're talking about on oh, you're talking about psychic, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. I mean, you hate that, but I mean, at a certain point, I mean, you run against the wall like that,
Yeah.
every band's going to come to that point. I mean, some come to it, earlier than others. Some can go on forever. Some guys just go on way past their due date. And yeah, Metallica comes to mind. Did you know that they put out a new song this past week or two, I think?
No, I saw some
It's
dumb
like,
video
oh
of
my God, man.
three of them playing together on basically like a Zoom call, like they were just,
Yeah.
yeah. And it was
Oh my
just, I don't
goodness.
know. It's just, it was so boring. Like
At what
James
point do you just like
Hetfield,
give up, man?
yeah, it's like James Hetfield was just playing like the same riff like over and over, and he was just like, yeah, that's a good riff. It's like, dude, it's the same
He's
riff I've
too,
heard you play like 10,000 times, and now you're
that's the
pretending this
problem.
is a new song.
Right. That's the problem, though. He's so old that he's forgotten he's already played that riff before. He's like, oh, why does this riff sound so good?
Yeah, like it's all been done, guys. Like,
Yeah. I mean,
shut
just
the
like
book.
move on to the next chapter of your life, I mean, for as big as a band as they are, it's like surely you have like other avenues that you can, express your art or yourself or whatever through instead of just running yourself into the ground. I don't know.
Yeah, or your
Yeah, man.
families. You could probably like
Pay
spend a little
attention to your
time with your
families.
families that you've not spent any time with for the last fucking 40 years.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, exactly.
It doesn't feel this album feels older. Like it was 2018. It's barely 5 years old, if it even is.
What year do you think? 15, 14?
What?
What I'm saying, which you're saying this album feels like it should be older than 2000, then coming out in
I
2018, right? Is that what you're saying?
it just feels like it's been out longer than that.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, that's what I was gonna
Yeah. And
say.
I don't
Like,
have
yeah,
a
that's
year
what I was
that
trying to
feels
say. Okay.
specifically like
It feel like it came out
feels
in.
like 2015 or no.
This
It
tastes
just
like a 2012 album.
yeah. No, I just thought this album had been around a little bit longer, but it's not even 5 years old unless it came out at the beginning of 2018. So
Which it may have, to be honest. I don't know.
see a lot more summer and fall releases on albums, I feel like.
They're Canadian though.
That's
Winter is
true.
their summer.
That's true.
Oh man. Alrighty. That's 2018's The Spark That Moves. All right. We got a couple of split albums we're going to talk about here real quick. 2019's Cancer Bats, Single Mothers from New Damage. Oh, no. Excuse me. Cancer Bats / Single Mothers New Damage Switcheroo Volume 1 from New Damage Records. There we go. You ever heard of the band Single Mothers, Josh?
No.
Me either. Apparently, they are a punk rock, hardcore punk, post hardcore, and alternative rock band. I'm going to tell you straight up, I did not like the cover that they did of Road Sick.
Yeah.
If you didn't notice, this is a band covering, or Single Mothers is covering a song from Cancer Bats, and Cancer Bats is covering a song from Single Mothers. I did not like Road Sick. And I think the thing that didn't do it for me was his vocals. He almost sounded like he was trying to do like a Nick Cave in the Bad Seeds type of like vocal cover, but like a little more like kind of like grungy a little bit. I don't know. It just kind of gave me these weird vibes and I didn't like it. But yeah. So you got Road Sick, Single Mothers covering Cancer Bats, and then you got Cancer Bats covering Single Mothers song Dog Park / Switch Off. What'd you think?
Yeah.
I like the next split better than this one, way better than this one.
It's like only 2 tracks, so it's just kind of like,
Yeah, it's like how much can you really say, right?
yeah, it was okay. Not, and
Nothing
it's
to
not
write home
super
about.
well received. I mean, just on Spotify, it doesn't even have 100,000 plays on Dog
Whew.
Parks, and Road Sick has 46,000 plays, so pretty low.
Probably a good reason for that. People talk. Yeah, don't go listen to this. Oh, okay. Yeah. So
No, listen
all
to it if you
right.
want the full experience, if you want to get a split EP in, but
Yeah.
it's nothing to write home
I
about.
mean, who knows? Somebody may like it. Somebody out there probably likes it. Somebody out there likes single mothers. But the
It's like
band,
going
the
to
band.
Nebraska, you don't have to take any pictures. You're going home.
Exactly. You're just going home, man. All right, Pneumonia Hawk, bro. 2019.
Everything
What
is
is that?
now a reference to Pneumonia
Like,
Hawk.
what is that supposed to be? Well, do you know like what song that's from? Like
No,
that they're singing? That's what I wondered.
no.
I don't know. Anyway, our other split EP here that we're going to talk about is 2019's Cancer Bats and Bleed from Within splits from Cancer Bats' own Bat Skull Records. Have you ever heard of Bleed from Within? They are a band.
I don't think so.
They are a band from Glasgow, Scotland.
Oh,
A metalcore, melodic death metal, groove metal, and deathcore band. I actually liked the song that they put on here. It's called State Decay. It was pretty good. And I even like Cancer Bats' original Inside Out as well. What about you, Josh?
I didn't see this one. I looked it up on YouTube, but everything that came up was um, just the other band. Like it was just like live stuff for them. Like I didn't see anything that was a split between the two of them.
So, well, I think I told you this in the last deal. It's like I got to the point where it's like I didn't put like Cancer Bat split because it wouldn't show you that. So I just individually had to go look up the song. So I'd be like Cancer Bats Inside Out, and it would pull up, and then I would look up Bleed from Within, State Decay, and it would pull up. So you have to look at it like from the songs
Just looking
individually.
for the specific tracks.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's unfortunate. I mean, because like other bands that we've talked about before, like you can just like I think Touche Amore, all of their splits were you could just go Touche Amore splits, and they were like all right there.
Super easy to
So,
find. Yeah.
yeah, this one's a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had to go individually. We'll definitely go check out these two when you get.
That's a hell of
chance.
a business model. If you want
Well,
people to listen to your stuff, make it really, really hard
make
to
it
find.
really, really hard. Exactly. Yes, exactly. Yeah, definitely go.
You're not
definitely go
on
check
that
out.
level, Cancer Bats. You're not up there where you could just be like, oh, this is an Easter egg. Hope some
Right.
people find it. Glad we spent the money on the studio time.
Right. Yep. Yeah, definitely go check them out when you get a chance. Like I said, I enjoyed the two songs from both bands, or one song from both bands. Yeah, State Decay was actually really pretty good. I might check out some more stuff from Bleed from Within. So, all right, March of 2020. I know we
Bleed
all
from
remember.
within, bleeding through the blood.
That's this is what I was thinking of
With
too. Is
blood
like
comes
all
cleansing.
these like a bunch of blood everywhere, man. Something with blood or bleeding. Yeah. Josh, we remember about March 2020. It was a great time in the world. Terrific time.
Was that when my life as I know it ended?
Basically, for the time being.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. March of 2020, the band released a remastering of Bears, Mayors, Scraps, and Bones for its 10-year anniversary. Looking back on the album, Liam Cormier stated, quote, "It's crazy looking back 10 years at this album and listening to all these songs, hearing where we were at as a band, especially having Jay riding on bass, made everything so much heavier. I could also really scream at this point after playing 1,000+ live shows. This is where we really shifted into being more metal and aggressive as a band." I got to listen to a little
think
bit of
that's
it. I
fair.
didn't. What's that?
that he said this is where they shifted into being
That's
a lot more aggressive because
yeah.
they start to lose that original sound that they had like
Mhm.
right around here. I mean, they're just
Yes.
re-recording these, so it's heavier, it's faster, it's tighter, but going on to the next one that's actually a full length, you can tell that the style has completely changed.
Wait, I'm confused about what you're saying now because they didn't re-record this. They just remastered it.
Oh, they just remastered it?
Yeah, they didn't re-record it. They just
Oh, okay.
remastered it. Yeah,
I have
yeah,
a
yeah.
hard time telling sometimes if I don't listen to them like this song and then the song from the 10 year, the old
Right.
song, the song from the
Yeah.
10 year. Yeah.
No, it's just remastered.
Okay.
Not actually re-recorded.
Well, so yeah, so that's why
I
it
mean, it's
sounds
still,
cleaner
but
and that's why,
right,
yeah.
but still, it's. I think that going back to 2010 when it was released, the original Bears, Mayors, Scraps, and Bones, that was a new chapter for the band. You had your first chapter of the EP and um, Birthing the Giant and Hail Destroyer, and then you start kind of turning the page and going into not really going in a different direction, but just like like I said, it's a new chapter once you get to Bears, Mayors, Scraps, and Bones and Dead Set on Living, and then you get to was it True is Searching for Zero I was after that, right? Yeah, Searching for Zero. And I feel like Searching for Zero and The Spark and then Psychic Jailbreak are your final chapter, or at least up to this point, because they're still a band. But yeah. So I would agree with his statement about what he's saying about when it first came out and everything. So
It feels like it goes from very southern feeling in the first couple albums to southern with some metalcore influences in that
mhm.
second block. And then towards this end block, we're moving into like full metalcore territory. We're kind of
Right.
leaving the southern thing behind.
Right.
So
Yep. I agree. Well, like every other band in the world, Cancer Bats would have to cancel a tour they would be starting in April of 2020 due to COVID-19, with
what?
hopes. Yeah, what? What's this? With hopes
Pussies.
to with hopes to reschedule said tour a year later. Now, while in waiting for the virus to subside and touring to resume, the band would head back into the studio for two short albums of reworked songs. Those two short albums are You'll Never Break Us / Separation Sessions Volume 1 and Volume 2 from New Damage Records. These two, I guess you could call them EPs, were produced by the band Cancer Bats. All proceeds for both of these albums went to Water First NGO, which helps trains interns in water purification for their communities. Quote, while we are excited for fans to hear and enjoy these new renditions, the other goal for this project is to raise funds and awareness for the clean water crisis that still exists within Canada for many Indigenous communities, end quote, shares Cormier. So that's pretty cool that you kind of get two birds with one stone there. Quote, on the release of the EP, oh, excuse me, not quote yet. On the release of the EP, Cormier had this to say, quote, after having our road dog existence of constant touring over the past 15 years halted due to the pandemic, and with all four band members now spread across Canada in separate cities, towns, and provinces, we haven't been in the same room since March. While separated from each other, we thought, what better time to re examine and record new versions of 6 classic Bats tracks? So, the first 6 include Death's March to a New Acoustic Beat, Road 666, so Stay Home, Black Metal Bicycle My Blues Riffs Away, Darkness Light, Bed of Nails Dreams of Tambourines, Lucifer's slightly less rocking chair, Bastard's Waltz recorded live from TV. All right, Josh. So these first 6 songs, or 7 songs, what do you think of these new renditions? Oh, can't hear you. Can't hear you.
I didn't get track 7, Bastards Waltz. For some reason, it's not on
Weird.
Spotify.
Huh, that's weird. It was on their Bandcamp.
Yeah, I only got the 3.
Hmm.
Maybe it was a bonus track or something.
Maybe so.
Um, I
I will
like
say for
it.
this, I like their names. Those are pretty funny.
Yeah. Um, with them playing acoustic,
Mhm.
there are certain songs that, like you were saying, feels like it could be played during a scene of Peaky Blinders.
Right.
Hashtag Red Right Hand Podcast.
Right.
Um,
Go check it out.
yeah, so it feels a little Nick Caves, but then there's also like the first track, Death's March. I feel like I'm watching an intro to Sons of Anarchy.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know,
There's
like
something
yeah,
about that guitar, man.
yeah. Um,
That slide guitar
so
going.
yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff in these albums. I do like them. I do like them both a lot, but there's a lot of weird stuff in here.
But that's the point.
We were both saying that there's a lot of parts where he sounds like Schuler Kroom. There's parts where he sounds like Dallas Taylor. Um,
And there's
who,
times where he sounds like himself, but
yeah, who's the woman who keeps making guest appearances
I
here?
don't know. I don't know. I'm wondering if she's the same one that's on the next album, at least on one song on the next album. But I don't know. I wondered that too.
Yeah.
I couldn't find any names.
Um, you know what my favorite part about this album is?
What's that?
In Bed of Nails, Dreams of Tambourines. What am I going to say?
I don't know. What are you gonna say?
The Casio keyboard that like comes in the
Oh my
middle there. That's
gosh.
just like so ridiculous. Like it's so awesome, but it's so dumb at the same time.
Right. Right.
Yeah, this album is really good. It makes me sad that that's the least listened to track on the album.
Is it really? Okay.
Yeah,
Hmm.
27,000.
Of course, I mean, think about it. That was the out of all those 7 songs, that's the newest one because it was off the latest album. So maybe just not as popular.
Yeah.
Some people just didn't want to really pique their interest to find out how it would sound differently or whatever. I don't know. I don't know how people think.
People listen to the first 2 tracks and then it just like hard tanks after that. Goes from
Yeah.
like 100,000, 190,000 to like 35,000. So,
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know.
Interesting.
These albums never hit for, I would say, a majority of fans. They're more of
Right.
niche
Yeah.
albums. Um, 4 Year Strong did a really good acoustic album. I want to say it was mostly stuff from Rise or Die Trying, but and that was one too that I think people were kind of like,
Mm. Okay.
yeah, because it's not just like a straight acoustic; it's like an instrumental. Like
Oh,
there's
really?
there's a lot of
There
like
no
extra
vocals?
stuff in there.
Okay.
It sounds like there's some strings at times and stuff. No, there's vocals, but it's really like
More
it's an
elaborate on the
instrumental
music.
experience.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Experience.
yeah,
Let the strings take you on a journey.
yeah.
Like,
It's
okay.
a soundscape.
Oh God. It's good for background studying.
Yeah.
You're trying to study for a test the night before.
Oh
Okay.
God, have you
Okay.
seen that they're making all those soundscapes to go along with different like books and stuff? So that like
No, what?
yeah, so like say you're reading like Lord of the Rings and you get to a big battle, then you'd go to like this certain part and it'd be a bunch of like sounds of like battle and stuff in the background and
My
yeah, they're gonna like
gosh. I mean,
accompany
that's pretty cool.
like different major book franchises and stuff. It's gonna be hey, that sounds cool.
I mean, yeah, that's still pretty cool.
Though part of me, as I heard that at the same time, was like, that's a movie.
And maybe,
What,
yeah. Why
what
don't
you're
just
talking
watch the
about,
movie?
we already achieved. It's the movie,
Oh man,
and not only do you get to hear it, you get to see it.
you get to see it, man.
Yeah. I say that as an avid book person, like it's a movie.
Was that sarcastic?
What?
I'm an avid book reader.
No,
Okay, I couldn't tell. I knew you read some books, but you're making it sound like you have like you got a chair in that room, a big reading chair next to like a fireplace or something.
No, I mean that'd be sick.
He's gonna do it. You should just build you one. We can just build you one. We'll put a TV in it, and you can just like turn on like a fireplace.
I like that.
Yeah. Anyway, back to cancer bats. Okay, volume 2. The songs on volume 2 include Hail the Acoustic Destroyer featuring, and maybe this is the chick, I don't know. But this song features Lindsay Schoolcraft. I don't know who that is, and I couldn't find a band name for her. But anyway, it says it features her. So maybe that's the same one that's on the other songs too.
How do you spell her name?
Lindsay Lindsay, and then Schoolcraft. It's just school and craft together. You also have bricks, mandolins, and more tambourine, because you can never have enough tambourine. And Josh, this one's just for you. Pneumonia acoustic hawk. I know you need more pneumonia hawk in your life.
Oh yeah.
Then you also have I don't even know how I'm gonna say this. Rats, but it's got acoustic in the middle of it, so RA acoustic TS. There we go. I guess I'll just go with that. And then the finale, Winter Peg Folk Fest. Thought that was pretty funny. Did you find anything on Lindsay?
Doesn't look like she does like that she's
Like in a band or anything?
yeah, like she's an artist or whatever, but looks like it says ethereal gothic. Oh yeah, okay. Ethereal gothic metal solo artist.
Oh my.
Oh, she's a harpist.
Gothic. Oh, okay.
Yeah, she plays harp.
Okay.
She's the founding member of the black metal band Antiqua.
Oh, okay. Never heard of them.
So I don't know. Yeah, there's a picture of her like with the rest of that band. Oh no, wait. Oh, she's been in Cradle of Filth also.
Oh, really?
She was the keyboardist for them for quite a while.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out why she was with like all these different black metal bands, and yeah, she was with Cradle of Filth for a while. She started Antiqua. Looks like yeah, most of the other stuff is just solo. A lot of stuff about her with Cradle of Filth.
Okay. Interesting.
But you know, if you're a chick and you play keyboard in any kind of heavy band, you're a bad bitch. So
Exactly. Well, what'd you think of these 5 acoustic renditions, Josh?
I liked it. I like both of these a lot, actually, a lot more than I thought I was going to. I kind of thought I might be.
Go
I was just gonna say, I kind of thought I might be skipping around through these, just kind of seeing, but I actually listened to both of them all the way through and never wanted to skip. So,
well, I know people are wondering, Josh, what you thought of Pneumonia Acoustic Hawk.
It was good, but it did make me stop after this song and then listen to the actual version.
Pneumonia Hawk again.
And then I came back to Rats Acoustics.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say it made you stop, go back to listen to the original, and then that made you stop and go watch the music video again.
No, it is such a good video, though.
Yeah. No, I like all these songs on every single one of these, or on both albums, Volume 1 and Volume 2. I thought it was really interesting and unique the way that they did them. They weren't just like hey, here's a singer and a acoustic guitar. I mean, they seem to put more
Effort into it.
Yeah, that's a good word. So yeah, I thought it was pretty unique the way that they did these. So And it's always interesting to see how, some of these songs are going to turn into, acoustic stuff. Or if you played them acoustically, especially for like, a metalcore band, or even like a hardcore punk or whatever, it's like, how's that going to sound, acoustically or more, stripped down version of it, like a
Yeah.
Hail the Destroyer, Hail Destroyer, or even Pneumonia Hawk. And yeah, I don't know. Even like Lucifer's, rocking chair was pretty interesting too. Um,
Yeah, there really is a
yeah,
different take on every single song. It's like you were saying,
yeah,
it's not just acoustic covers all the
right.
way through. It's they put a lot of work into making each one of these songs very different.
Which you had the time, that's for sure.
Why
You
not?
had
Yeah.
plenty of time on your hands, so
I
put
do like the
some
art on both of
effort
these
into it.
too,
Yes, yeah, they're
especially
both
this one.
both very good. Both very good. Oh, one thing I was going to say, I meant to mention it on the last album, Spark the Moves. What do you think about um how do I say this? I mean, it's not really harmonizing. I don't know, maybe it is, but like they kind of like some of the stuff like on Spark, they kind of have melodic sounds in like the vocals. Like well heck, like We Run Free and even like Bed of Nails. And in like Fear Will Kill Us All, they have some kind of melodic stuff, kind of like towards like the chorus in terms of the vocals. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty interesting how they do that. And then like when we get to well, I'll talk about it here in a second when we get there. Um, but like with the adding the female vocals on some of this stuff too to kind of harmonize with Liam, I thought was really cool too. Especially for a guy who's I mean, his vocals are pretty harsh and aggressive, especially some of the earlier stuff. So for him to still be able to do the kind of clean stuff that he does and still in his unique way, I thought was pretty good.
Yeah.
So,
Um,
oh, go ahead.
well, I was just gonna say he's slowly, as he gets older, becoming uh at least in the face, Jacob Bannon from Converge.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like he's slowly fading into that. Um, yeah, I just want to point that out.
No, you're good.
But then also I was looking at the artwork for Separation 2, and it's got the banjo and guitar crossed. Made me want to ask, what is your favorite banjo moment in like a Southern metal song?
Oh, oof.
I'm gonna put you on the spot here.
I don't know. I mean, I immediately think of Maylene.
Which one?
Um, I'm trying to think of the um. Hold on a second. I gotta pull it up here. Do a little research on the fly.
You're not talking about like
Uh,
their newest single, are you?
no.
Okay. Because that's not bad,
No,
but
it's not bad, but no.
I wouldn't give it my favorite.
No, hold on one second. Just kind of banter here for a moment.
Dun, 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 dun. The technical difficulties music. Oh, tell you this, it's gonna be bad news for him if he does wind up looking like Jacob Bannon. It's not a direction physically that I think you strive to go in. Look very sick all the time.
I think the one that I think of first is the banjo intro on "Waiting on My Deathbed" from the first song off of 3.
Oh,
I
ding
mean,
ding
that's a
ding ding
sick,
ding
yeah.
ding bing bing
I
bing.
always
Yeah,
think
that
of
is pretty
that.
good. That is
So
pretty
I'm gonna
good.
have to go with that one. What about you?
Okay. I was gonna say I can't remember if it is CoverGirl or Sunday Revival, but it's by a band, The Ongoing Concept.
Okay.
Yeah, and it is the banjo breakdown.
The banjo
Um,
breakdown. Okay. I'm
yeah,
gonna
it's
have to listen to
pretty
that.
pretty
I
brutal.
know of the ongoing you said ongoing concept, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard of them before. I've just never really listened to them.
Yeah, it's
But I'll
the
have to check that
album
out.
Saloon.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to check them out then. Are they like Southern? Like
Um,
their music? Or is it just kind
it's
of like that one time that they were just kind of using acoustic or
it's like
banjo,
metalcore with some southern
some Southern
influences.
twang?
Yeah,
Okay.
there's banjo in a few songs, and the first or track starts out with like the sounds of like walking into like an old like cowboy saloon,
Yeah.
So they're going for a more southern theme. If you saw them, you would be like these
No.
guys are not, yeah.
You're
It's
not
not like looking at
Southern.
Maylene, but
Right. Yeah. Okay.
um but yeah, they're trying. They like it, so that's what they're doing.
Okay. All righty. Well, that is You'll Never Break Us / Separation Sessions, Volume 1 and Volume 2. Now, like I said earlier, one of the founding members, Scott Middleton, guitarist, that guy right there, would leave the band to focus on, check this out, Josh, because we just talked about this with Metallica. Scott Middleton left the band to focus on his family, his health, and
Oh,
his personal recording studio and production work. See, some people
huh,
can leave things in the past and move forward onto the next chapter of their life
huh,
and spend time with their family.
huh.
Yeah.
Well,
So
kudos to him.
kudos to Scott. So that takes us
Yeah, not
to
talking shit on the rest of them.
right.
But
No.
that's yeah, good for him. That's as
Yeah.
good a reason as any to leave. So
It's going to take us to the newest album, which just came out this past year in 2022, Psychic Jailbreak from New Damage and Bat Skull Records. What are you laughing about? The name? You know what I think of immediately?
making
I
my
think of
meh face.
I immediately think of with that name, like when people talk about jailbreaking their phone, and I'm like, are they talking about jailbreaking their mind? Maybe.
I don't
I don't
know.
know. Produced once again by John Paul Peters, and this album would be recorded as a 3-piece group with Jay Schwarzer recording bass and guitar. Fun fact for you, Josh. It already happened,
Is it
but
fun?
today, March 13th, 2023, as we record this, the band was actually at the 2023 Juno Awards because their album Psychic Jailbreak was nominated for an award in the Metal Hard Music Album category. They did
not
not
much out
win.
there this year.
I didn't recognize any of the other albums that were in contention, or even bands that was in contention for that award. But they did not win. Let me see if I can pull it up again here real quick. I will say this though, and I'm kind of interested to know, where was it? So Alexis on Fire actually just put one out, I think this last year, and it's called Otherness, and it's supposed to be like way different from like their other stuff, like their early stuff, and it won Rock Album of the Year. So I'm kind of interested to see what that's going to sound like. Just the album artwork is weird in general. Let's see. Blues, country, world, contempt, adult. Okay, so a band called Voivod. No clue who that is. Their album Synchro Anarchy won Metal Hard Music Album of the Year. Other bands' albums. See, I don't recognize any of these bands. Skullfist, Get the Shot, Wake, and then Cancer Bats. Do you know any of those names?
Nope.
Yeah, me either.
Is this a Canadian thing?
Yeah, I think it's I think the Juno Awards are more Canadian stuff.
Okay.
Or a Canadian award show, I should say. Yeah, because like Alexis on Fire is is on this, and I think Billy Talent was on here too, somewhere. 3 Days Grace. Yeah. So anyway, just kind of interesting little fact. When I was doing this research, I actually found out just today before we started that it was actually happening tonight, right as we were recording.
Oh, okay.
But
Breaking
anyway,
news.
Breaking news.
They lost.
They lost. Yeah. Songs on this album include Radiate, The Hoof, Lonely Bong, Friday Night, Hammering On, Crocodiles, Shadow of Mercury as he shakes his head. Keep on breathing.
The Lonely Bong, that song is so fucking lame. It's the dumbest concept. And at the end, when he throws that line in there, he's like, Lonely Bong without his bud. I'm like, I fucking hate the world.
You just put your hand in your head, just like shake
Yeah.
it, man.
You guys
also-
have fallen far with this one.
You also have Pressure Mind, Rolling Threes, Psychic Jailbreak. I'm very interested to see what Josh has to say about this album. Let's go to Josh.
I don't care for it.
Really? Breaking
Yeah.
news, people.
I know it just came out last year, but it doesn't look like everybody else cared for it much either. So,
but they
numbers
were nominated for an award.
Pretty low. People listen to the first track and then realize this was not what they were looking for.
This was a mistake.
Yeah. Of course,
will
Lonely
say-
Bong goes back up to like 400,000 because, people are dumb.
It had a music video to go with it too. That was the one you
Yeah.
were asking me about in part one.
Yeah.
The only song that I like off of this album is Hammering On, and I think it's more because of the harmonizing between Liam and whoever the girl is.
Probably
I thought
Lindsay.
that was pretty nice. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if it was Lindsay. But yeah, that's the only one that I liked off of this album. Everything else, I was just like, yeah.
Yeah. I kind of like Shadow of Mercury. I do remember thinking that one was at least kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only one that I saved from this album was Keep on Breathing. Yeah.
Keep on breathing.
Yeah. That's the
Okay.
one you said, right?
No, Hammering On was the one.
Oh,
that I
Hammering
said.
On. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Keep on Breathing was the only one that I actually saved. So, and I remember thinking that Shadow of Mercury was pretty good. I like Hammering On, but kind of just for the same reason you said, like just because it's something different with her in there. So,
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I was looking at something for a second there. Yeah. Yeah, it's just I don't even know. Would you give it a second shot?
yeah, probably because I
Okay.
listened to Endless Hallway.
Everybody deserves a second chance.
Yeah, I listened to Endless Hallway a second time, and on second listen, it was a little bit better. It
Yeah.
still doesn't really hit for me.
Right.
Same
yeah.
shit. They're out of ideas. Like we're just
Yeah.
recycling and not in a good way now. So I don't know. And also, this is the problem you run into a lot when like a band goes long enough that they start to like change their style pretty significantly down the road.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's the thing. Like this is just not what I came here for. This is
Right.
not what I came
This
for.
is
a
not
Cancer
how
Bats
I fell
album
in.
that sounds like the other ones,
Right.
So
Yeah. That's why I stuck around.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would do the same. I'm with you. I would give it a second shot. I mean, you never know. I don't see it, turn around the second time around and be like, oh my God, this is a lot better than I would thought. It's the best album ever. I do not foresee that happening at all. I think
Yeah.
it will definitely be my least favorite album, regardless.
I just don't like it too whenever people will be like, well, yeah, but a band like has to change their sound. Like, they're gonna change and develop at some point or whatever, like develop into something different. Like, yeah, okay, well, that's fine, but it's just not for me because if I wanted to listen to that kind of band, I would probably already be listening to a band that sounds like that,
Right. Yeah.
So
Yep. No, I'm
Yeah.
with you.
I mean, it happens. No, there's no bad blood. I'm not going to be like,
No,
fuck cancer bats, but it's just,
don't say it.
the
Don't
album just
do
doesn't hit
that.
for you, and that's fine. They don't all have to.
Right. Yep.
It's okay to say that one of, your favorite bands has a couple shit albums. That's fine.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, that's the latest and greatest album from Cancer Bats 2022's Psychic Jailbreak. Concerning the members, Josh, the lineup, I know we were talking earlier about, they're just down to the three main members: Liam Cormier on vocals, Jay Schwarzer on bass, and then doing some guitar recording wise, and then Mike Peters on drums. They have two guitarists that are going out on tour with them. This first one is a girl. I've never heard of her before. Her name is Katie Lamond, and that's KT, like K and T, Lamond.
AY
No, just K and T.
KNT.
A no, the letter K
Uh-huh.
and then the letter T.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it's like initials or whatever, but that's what came up at first.
And what's her last name?
Lamond, Lamond. She plays guitar. She was in a band called No, It's Fine. She has joined the band as a touring guitarist. You're looking her up.
Yeah. I only see anything for No, It's Fine.
Okay.
So it looks like that was
So do this. You're on your old search engine there, right?
yeah.
Just type in Cancer Bats. And the first picture has her and the other touring guitarist. Tell me if he looks familiar at all.
Which picture are you talking about?
So there's one where it's like they're all kind of like pointing at the camera, all five of them. And the girl's like right up front.
Okay.
You see it?
Yeah.
Okay. The guy in the very back, can you tell me who that is?
No,
I don't
that's
know
not
if
what's
he's-
his face from the Chariot, is it?
It is, man. Stephen
Really?
Harrison. Yep, Stephen Harrison.
Okay, I
He'd
thought
be
that
the
was him.
Yep, he'd be the other guitarist joining the band on tour. He is from the band The Chariot, well, ex Chariot. They are no longer together, and he used to be in the band Fever 333.
I was about to say, I never knew what band he was in before he came over to the Chariot.
Well, he was Fever 333 was after the Chariot.
Okay.
I think for a while there he was like their guitar tech on, or like a roadie or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, it just came up there. What is Stephen Harris?
He's taking a turn though from Jacob Bannon to Keith Buckley though in this picture.
Right. Come on, man. Let's see.
Interesting. I would really okay, I don't know, I may have to watch some of their live stuff. I could consider coming back and being fully invested based on how it sounds with the two of them added to the mix. They've always been a four-piece, you
Mhm.
know. Them as a five-piece, I feel like could be really strong.
Actually getting two guitarists
Yeah.
in on the act. Oh man, they used to Harrison. Harrison. So let's see. I guess. I mean, if he was in anything before the Chariot, it wasn't, big enough to really write about.
Is
Probably
it
like
just
small local stuff.
is it just showing them as only being
Touring. Yeah.
touring?
Yeah. Yeah. But again, it's like, okay, if they've been touring with you, even for like just like the last year, it's like just put them in the band.
Right.
Like, what are you doing? Just put them in the band. You know, it's like keeping a friend at like a distance, but I still want you there when I need you. It's like just pull the trigger, dude. Just end it. I don't know.
I want to see. Yeah, I want to see the two of them in there. Especially, I just don't know really about Katie Lehman.
Right.
But I know Stephen Harrison, and I would really like to see him record some stuff with them.
Yep. Same
But
here.
I guess we'll have to
Same
see
here.
if that happens. Psychic Jailbreak was this year, so I would not
Yeah.
expect another album for probably next year or
2 years
maybe
probably.
2025.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I don't know.
Well, Josh.
They put out pretty consistently. I mean,
Oh yeah, yeah. That's why I was
2015,
saying probably like 2 years, maybe.
2013. Yeah, so just like about 2 to sometimes 3 years in between an album.
Right.
If that though. I mean, you've got oh well, no, that was the when they put out Hail Destroyer again. I mean, Birthing the Giant to Bears is like 4 years, but oh, I guess no, that's the original Hail Destroyer.
Yeah, Hail Destroyer was 07.
Okay, so they go. Oh, damn! So they went a year and then 3 years, and then
But
it's
think
been
about
about 2 or 3 in
right.
between.
But that's I mean, even like with Birthing and Hail, it's like, I mean, that's you're at the beginning of your whole discography. So they had like songs on the back burner, you know?
Yeah,
So you can easily put out records pretty quickly then. Then like once you get older and you start, running out of ideas, albums start kind of spacing themselves out and such.
yeah.
So favorite album, Josh? Dead Set on Living?
Yeah, I think so. Overall, yeah, I think so.
Are you sticking, because I think you said in the last episode, are you sticking with Dead Set on Living as a entry point for a new listener?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
That's when it's during that era when it's
More
a
accessible.
pretty 50-50 mix of Southern and metalcore, so.
Yeah. Okay. I think I'm gonna agree with you on that one on the intro point. I think I'm gonna go. Oh, man, this is a tough one. I don't know if I want to say the Spark the Moves is my favorite album because it's a really good one. But I like more of the early stuff, and I'm probably gonna go Hail Destroyer is my favorite, and I think Birthing is right behind that one.
Yeah,
So
it's
yeah, I think
one
I'm
that
gonna go with
like
that.
it's a hard call between a few albums.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, besides Psychic Jailbreak, and then Searching for Zero is kind of getting kind of low there, but everything else, I mean, it's like they don't really have a bad album, you know.
Yeah,
Besides, like I said, it's like Psychic Jailbreak, and again, we're both going to give that another listen to and see what we think. But 3 episodes, Josh. What do you think? Any final thoughts on the good old band Cancer Bats? It was a nice little walk down memory lane. Made me think of some things back in the day.
for sure.
Because we used to really like this band.
They're a band that I've kind of moved away from a little bit over the years, but then come back to, and then moved away from, come back to. So yeah, they're always good in a Southern playlist, and I don't know, just interested to see what they decide to do. I mean, it seems like the 3 of them are pretty set on doing this and
Themselves
are fine with touring, and
yeah.
So I don't know. We'll just have to see where it goes. I don't think they're done.
No,
I
don't
think
think
we'll
so
see
either.
at least another album or 2 out of them. So
Yep. Well, as always, we always highly suggest that you go check out the whole full discography, decide for yourselves. It's always nice to hear what we think, but it's always nice to hear it for yourselves.
It's always
So,
nice to form your own opinions.
It's always nice to form your own opinions, isn't it? Isn't it just lovely? Alrighty, well, let's get on out of here, Josh. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Is Survived by Pro for news and the latest episode postings, not just on this show, folks, but our other shows as well.
There's
We
3
mentioned-
other shows now.
There's 3. We're growing, people. We're growing. First and foremost, tied to this show, we have a new little kind of mini afterwards show called History of the Corps After Hours podcast, where I sit down with a good friend of mine and avid listener of the show in kind of an interview style, and we go back through all the bands that me and Josh have discussed. Definitely go give that a try. And this other show we actually just mentioned here just a little bit ago in this episode. It's called the Red Right Hand Podcast, folks.
Red Right Hand Pod. Red Right Hand Pod. Red Right Hand Pod.
Subliminal messaging there as it flashes on your screen.
By far our most popular one.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, that was the OG. That's how we started.
Yeah.
God, that was fun. That I think it was the last episode we did. Or the latest episode that we did on it, where I made you go back and listen to like little clips of our very first episode where you and I just like sat in a room together and talked about the first episode of Peaky Blinders, and they're just like cringy because we just we didn't know what we were doing. We had no like rhythm at all.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you're living your life.
yeah. I mean, you got to start somewhere, right?
Got to start somewhere.
So that is the Red Right Hand Podcast, which covers all 6 seasons of the Peaky Blinders, plus a couple of episodes. Well, not a couple, just a few different episodes, which are some of our more popular ones in between seasons, where we talk about history, maybe some different historical figures, and we even had a quiz episode, which was pretty fun. I got to quiz Josh and see how much he remembered about the show. I think it was after season 4, maybe. Yeah, I think it was after season 4. So up to season 4 point, we got to figure out what Josh remembered about the show. And he did all right. I just remember him screaming asterisk because I asked him about
You're
Tommy
doing some
Shelby.
real prick questions.
I did. I asked him about Tommy Shelby and his lovers, and he didn't agree with one of them. But anyway, we're not going to get into that. Just go check that episode out. It's called the quiz episode. And then go check out every other episode. Then we also have the Throne of the Dragon podcast, which so far has covered season 1 of House of the Dragon. And we've also done part 1 of Aegon's Conquest, part 2 soon to come. Maybe. He's shaking his head. Yes, it's coming, people.
Yeah,
Be
I'm
on the
finishing it
lookout.
up.
Okay, he's almost there. He's almost done. Hey, while you're also on Twitter, make sure to follow my co-host over here. It is below him at Joshua Lynn Gary. Oh, there it is. There it is. Make sure to leave us a 5-star review and write us a comment on whatever podcast service you are using. And if you want to listen to us and see our smiling faces, head on over to our YouTube page. Just search Is Survived by Productions, and that'll have every episode from all of our shows. Oh my gosh. Creepy. Got a little something in your mustache there, a couple of crumbs. Subscribe to the channel and thumbs up the video. And hey, if you guys want to see some live streams, make sure to tweet us or leave us the secret word in the comment section. Stream.
The secret.
The password is no. Yeah, so definitely do all that if you would like to see some live streams from us. Josh, would you like a little hint? Or maybe just do you want me to just tell you who our next band is?
Give me a hint.
Okay, a hint. I'm not prepared for a hint. I don't even know why I said
You asked me if I wanted one.
I know. That's
Now
why
I
I
want
corrected
it.
myself. I
Now I want
corrected
it.
myself. Canada?
Another Canadian band?
Another Canadian band. Well,
This
I thought
really
we'd
is the really is the Canadian, invasion.
Well, I felt like, we had so much fun in Canada this round. Why not just stay another week or two?
That's got to be the next T-shirt. We had the Cloggy Williams T-shirt. This has got to be the next one, the Canadian invasion.
I like it. I'll be on that this week. That'll be my mission this week.
Okay.
We're gonna talk about the band Alexis on Fire.
Nice.
So make sure to come back for that series. I think it's gonna be a 2-parter.
Then we can talk about Pneumonia Hawk again.
Oh my god. I don't think it'll be a 3-parter. I think it's just going to be a 2-parter.
It all goes back.
Yeah, everything comes back to Pneumonia Hawk and the Canadian invasion. All right. Until next time, we will see ya.
Dangling your balls over a trash can?